The gymnastics season kicks off inside Jersey Mike's Arena and at Rutgers. It's one of the most anticipated seasons for the Scarlet Knights. A big Saturday afternoon in Piscataway as Rutgers host a quad meet with Towson, Ball State, and Towson Oshkosh. We welcome you live to Jersey Mike's Arena with Crystal Chalet-Norton, the NCAA's rules interpreter. I'm Dom Savino, happy to be with you today on Big Ten Plus, and Crystal, happy to be back in the gym. I don't even know where to start with this Rutgers team because there's so much excitement, and I know you being around this team a whole lot, you can sense that.
Yes, you can, and I saw them in their inner squad, and they look very strong. She has a lot of depth, and I think she has a lot of experience, which is going to be for an exciting season.
Oh, last year was a big year for Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights peaked at number 24 in the country, had a record team score of 196.4. As you see their head coach, Celine Beasley, she's put this program in a great place.
Yes, she has, and she was the perfect hire for it. Pat Hobbs, I think, searched her out, and she's wonderful. She's been here before as an assistant, so she knows the program, she knows the school and the college, and now that this is really her program now, it's her recruits. So this is her team.
Well, you see last year Rutgers had 3 gymnasts make it to regionals. One of them, Hannah Joyner, who's going all around again this year as a senior, made it to nationals. Rutgers' goal this year is to not only bring 3 to regionals, they want to bring the whole team.
Yes, they do, and that will be exciting if they can, because the last time I think we did that was back in 2014. I'm not quite sure, but I mean, I went when I was the head coach, but it was a different format of how you got to regionals. Now you have to be in the top 36 in order to go. So that's huge if you're in that top 36. And I think this team has the ability to make it to there.
Well, Celine Beasley's bunch has a lot of excitement around it this year, in part because of those returners like Hannah Joyner and the star on vault and floor, Emily Lease. Also, a top 20 recruiting class added to the mix this year. We will see some of the freshmen compete today, adding a whole nother class of talents to this program, providing a boost.
Yes, and that helps with the depth, and it's as much experience as they get now, it's going to just help her down the line when they get to the bigger meets.
You see Emily Lease right there, the vaulter who does a Yurchenko 1.5, a 10.0 start value. And she has been close to getting that perfect score, and Rutgers hoping today is the day. Meanwhile, we talked about Hannah Joyner already, the senior who had elite experience coming in and has starred in this program over her first 3 seasons. She's the biggest name on this team, and with her, I don't even know where to start because she has been a core part of this program from day one.
Exactly, and she's very strong-willed, and she knows how to compete because she was at the elite level. So when you're at that level, you know how to calm your nerves and what to do, and if something goes wrong, she knows how to fix it, which is good, and she's going to be a great example for the younger gymnasts coming into the program as the freshman, to watch her and how poised she is.
An all Big Ten honoree. Last year tied her own program record on beam, which is her top event.
Yes, it is, and she's going to be rock solid on that, and so there's going to be some new beam people coming in now that we've lost. Who did we lose?
We graduated a couple names. The biggest one that fans would know is Belle Huang.
Right, Belle, okay. So she was solid. And, you know, and it's kind of been strange not seeing her in the gym because she was with us for 5 years.
Well, I should mention this too. This is a Big Ten Plus broadcast, and so as part of the activity that comes with the quad meet, we will see a lot of Rutgers, and we'll try to get to Towson, Ball State, and Towson Oshkosh as we go. Should mention Towson and Ball State were also teams that received votes but were not ranked in the initial national poll. So teams that could be competitive for a top 36 spot and send their team to regionals this year.
Yes, they could. And again, Towson has always been strong, as has Ball State, and their coach was an assistant at West Virginia, so she has been around a strong program. And
Ball State has already competed this year. That was last weekend, competed in a quad meet at Florida, had a 194.1 as a team score, so something to watch for there. For Towson, it's the debut, and for Towson Oshkosh, they opened the season last weekend too. You know, it's the luxury to have you in the booth again this year, Crystal, because not only of all your gymnastics experience, but your role as the NCAA's rules interpreter, and that's relevant this year, perhaps more than in other years, because of all the rules changes that took place in the offseason. That will play a factor today in particular as teams get used to some of the changes.
Yes, they will. And the other thing is the college rules changed this past May, and they piggyback off some of what changed with the USAD Development Code of Points as well. So you're going to see things like they want to see them hold their end pose on floor for at least a second. They can't just end and run off, and that's a deduction. You know, before it wasn't. So you could try to fake the fact that you didn't land straight. Now you have to hold whatever you end up with. And they hired some dismounts on beam, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. They tried to give more elements that athletes could get a D for that are C's in the developmental code for USA.
I think it's fair to say when you boil it down, they made things that much tougher for the gymnasts this year to get the bigger scores?
It's a little bit, yeah. Well, what they wanted to do, there wasn't a lot of D's on beam, okay? So the USA development program put more skills on beam that are D's and E's. So the college coaches can now use them as well. So that's good.
Just about set to go for this quad meet. Again, we'll see a lot of Rutgers, and we'll try to whip around the rest of the events to see as much of Ball State, Towson, and Wisconsin Oshkosh as we can. We take a look at the Scarlet Knights vault lineup, and Maya Jones will lead it off. One of the freshmen in this vault lineup, Valentino Lorente Garcia, a couple of sophomores in Pagliaro and Aird, and a couple of veterans in Joyner and Leeson here.
I want to state out, because you're going to see there's lines on the vaulting mats now. That is new, and it's there just for a visual for the judges to see if they're off on a direction. There's no set deduction for it except how far they're off. They want to see them land in the middle as she did.
Yeah, Maya Jones with a nice start for the Scarlet Knights.
Right. So those lines are, it's up to 3 for directional. So now the judges have a better visual of it, and they put that in there. And these lines are similar to what you see in the Olympics when they have them on their podium and their gymnast vault.
Maya Jones awaits her score as we start here. Ball State is on bars. Oshkosh is on beam, and on floor we've got Towson.
That was a very nice vault, but she did have a hop, and they want the judges to take that so you can separate the student athletes.
I should mention that Rutgers has opened this season. This is not their season opener. It is the home debut, though. Rutgers last weekend competed at the Super 16 Challenge in Las Vegas against 3 top 20 programs on podium to open the season. And Umi Salim Beasley said it was a challenging but good way to start their season. And Rutgers, with their score of 194.7, their highest season opening road score ever.
Yes, that was phenomenal. And it was on the road, and it was a time change. So that is very good. And that's, shows that the depth that she's got and the experience with these gymnasts.
Waiting for Maya Jones' score. Haven't seen it roll into our stats yet. You do see Valentino Lorente Garcia getting ready to go. One of that class of freshmen from Virginia Beach, Virginia. And making her home debut.
She's a strong run. Very nice full, which is a 9.95 start. However, she did have a great big hop, so that could be 2/10. Okay, if they could take 3. So they were looking for the salto to the flip to twist and land without any movement. And so they're going to get hit. And see, she took a very big step.
Another look at Lorente Garcia's run.
Nice clean twist, but again, big hop. So that could be up to 2 to 2.5, whatever the judges want to take.
Lorente Garcia is in the vault lineup for the 2nd straight week. Competed on vault and bars in her college debut a week ago. But something as we're on this rotation that we should highlight for folks who may be tuning in for the first time, the difference between the Yurchenko full and the Yurchenko 1.5, which we'll see Emily Lease perform. That's the only way, the Yurchenko 1.5, to get that all-important 10-0 start value.
Right. They lowered the full because everyone was doing it. So now you're seeing more and more student athletes in different programs trying to do the 1.5. And that's what's going to make up the difference of, you know, who wins and who loses sometimes in vaulting. Because all the other events are all the time, unless they fall, have a 10-0 start value.
Again, still waiting to get the scores officially for the first two, but Anna Pagliaro, the sophomore, is ready to roll.
Again, very nice, but again, the landings. And sometimes the first event, you're excited, you're ready to go. And it's good to have vaulting first, because on beam, you've got to really calm down and calm your nerves. Very clean twist. It's just going to be her landing that's going to be affected.
So we'll wait on the score for Pagliaro as well. Something that you just touched on that I should mention early, you know, Celine Beasley said this, I think, in every conversation we've had early in campaigns, early in seasons, is how nerve-wracking the home meets can be for her team. And again, with a bunch of freshmen and underclassmen, especially relevant, she finds the road meets are a bit easier because they're in their own environment, whereas here, family, friends, and fellow students are in the stands.
Exactly, exactly. And, you know, also having it in this arena, which is a huge arena, which is, you know, can be somewhat intimidating. So that in itself. And again, when you're right, when you go away, you just think about yourself and your team. But here, there's so many other distractions to think of.
Well, the first score for Rutgers is in. Maya Jones, who was the leadoff, earned a 9.75. We'll wait for the next two scores to roll in as well, as Hannah Joyner gets ready to roll. You saw her 9.9 career best last year.
Very nice. Now, she had a little hop, but it wasn't as big as the two gymnasts before her. So there will be a deduction, but it's not going to be as monumental as was the other two.
Now, something we always remark about when we watch Hannah's gymnastics is how much power, yet grace, she's able to compete with.
Right, because she finishes her twist above, and then she lands into it. And she lands into it with control, and that's what the judges want to see.
So we await the scores for the All-Big Tenor and Nationals qualifier, Hannah Joyner. Meanwhile, first score for Ball State on bars has rolled in, a 9.75 for Zoe Middleton. There's Elia Aird, a sophomore now, last year as a freshman, in which she did have some injury and was slowed. She was a Big Ten gymnast to watch, so Rutgers excited about her potential.
Right, exactly. And now that she's healthy and back in the lineup.
Aired somebody with all-around experience and competed that, in fact, in Vegas last week. Had a 9.8 on vault.
She's a very strong vaulter, and if she can stick it, she's going to get a very high score. She could have had a little bit more body opening, but again, she just took a step back. She could have had a little bit more height. Overall, though, very nice vault. She piked it down a little bit and had her chest down, and they want to see you in a straight body position as you land. But was able to control it.
Aird last year was able to compete in just one meet. It was the home opening quad meet, in fact, before suffering that injury. And so just tapping the surface of her potential with this first full season.
Exactly.
I'll wait on her score.
Exactly, and she's a very strong gymnast. And it's great to see her back in 4 events.
And now the anchor, Emily Lease. Her career high, a 9.9, a regionals qualifier last year. I think the whole country is wondering when the judges will give her the 10.0 score that she has been close to a couple of times and seemed to be at with her runs. And sticks it out. A little hop at the end, that looks sharp.
But very sharp, very nice, very clean twist. Again, she finished it in the air and had a little bit of a hop. She's a nice, strong runner. Nice block. Very tiny. This should be a very nice score.
Elise has quickly become one of the premier vaulters that this program has ever seen. And so we'll wait on her score. Again, we just have the one score in officially so far for Rutgers. Maya Jones, 9.75. And so as we get them in definitively, we'll let you know.
I think because it's the first meet of the season, getting the kinks out of the system.
Working out some of the things out on the vaults and on the floor too, getting right. the early season jitters perhaps straightened
right,
out.
Exactly.
Rutgers from here will move on to bars. Meanwhile, Ball State on bars currently. Oshkosh on beam and Towson is on floor. Now this we should mention too is the first of 5 home meets that Rutgers will have this season. And 2 of those will be dual meets against Big Ten opponents Illinois and Maryland, and all 5 of those will be right here on Big Ten Plus.
Just a reminder, the athlete has to, they start their routine at a 9.4 and they have to add bonus for 6/10. One has to be a D element and one has to come from connective value. So, and then they can use whatever they want for the other 4/10. And that's something that they changed 2 years ago. They lowered the start value from a 9.5 to a 9.4 to help differentiate a little bit. But you'll find that most athletes on all these events will have a 10.0 start unless they fall and break an element.
We'll get to see a Ball State routine on bars in a moment. For Rutgers, meanwhile, 2 more scores in. Valentina Lorente Garcia, the freshman, earned a 9.65, as did the sophomore behind her, Anna Pagliaro. And a joiner's score in 2, a 9.75. So as it stands right now, Rutgers counting a pair of 9.75s and 1 9.65 as we await those last 2 scores from Aird and Lease. Entering this meet, Ball State, the number 2 program in terms of their opening team score, 194.1.
They are a very strong team as well. Nice giant full into a reverse hecht, which is a bonus combination. So she went D to D, which gives her 2 Ds and a +2 connective value, which I talked about. They also want to see the gymnast go to a handstand position. And her dismount is a very difficult dismount. It's an E. So that's a 2/10. So she's got 4/10 with a DE and a connective value. So she has a 10.0 start value. Maybe a little short on the one handstand. But again, when you compose a bar routine, you want to get it as short and sweet as possible for less execution errors.
And now we move to floor. We'll get to see Towson here. Still awaiting the initial Towson scores.
Again, on floor, they may have a 3 tumbling pass, or they can have 2. So they have a choice of what they want to do, but they have to get all of their requirements and composition in with if they're doing a 2-pass routine. So sometimes you will see a 2-pass routine, and that might be made because the gymnast has been injured and they just want to take it easy on her.
Something else too on floor, the landings don't have to be quite as crisp as we would see with some of the other rotations.
Yes. But still, if they hop all around, they're going to be deducted.
Right.
And they're also looking for the gymnast to show off. They want them to be a performer out there. double back, which is a D. And that's an example. She had a 2-pass routine. She had what she needed. And the dismount over there on bars is a double A, which is an E. A little bit of a step.
Well, meanwhile, Rutgers waiting now. This is part of the life of a quad meet is when you're on vault, there's a lot of waiting around for your next rotation. We have the last 2 scores in. Elia Aird a 9.7, and Emily Lease, the top scorer for the Scarlet Knights on vault, 9.875. And so Rutgers completes the opening rotation with a 48.725. For Lease, that score, by the way, matches what she did out in Vegas this past weekend.
Okay. And again, you know, the fulls are only a 9.95 start, and if you have a big hop, you're looking at a 9.75, you know, and so.
We have some scores in for Ball State over on beam. Pardon me, on bars. Megan Teeter, a 9.85, top score so far for the Cards. Oshkosh on beam with their 4th gymnast. Best score so far from Delaney Sinkus, a 9.75.
Front aerial, that is a D. Now she's trying to connect that for her flight series because they need a flight series on it. And the majority of the gymnasts do back handspring layout as their flight series. So a front aerial to a back handspring is definitely a little bit harder because it's a blind landing. She has a front tuck into a beat jump, which is, again, bonus combination. No C dismount. Just a little bit of a deduction because of stepping and a directional.
And again, that's one of the points of emphasis that we'll keep an eye on as this meet and the season goes on, as gymnasts have had to up their difficulty levels on the dismounts.
Yes. But one thing they did do, this is a 4.5. Again, she had a little bit of step on it. They took the double full, round off double full, which was a C, and it is still a C in USA development, but they moved it up to a D. So that gives them, if they want to see different dismounts. So that's why they wanted to say, okay, here's a D. So why don't you try that? Because a lot of the gymnasts came from developmental program and were doing a double twist. So they gave it a bonus combination, D.
The Rutgers opening on vault, a 48.725. Meanwhile, Towson, as they get ready for their anchor on floor. A couple of solid scores. Carmela Calafati, a 9.85 to pace them. Paige Casper picked up a 9.8 a few minutes ago as well.
Very nice tumbling pass, front salto through to a double back. Very hard pass, but does get connection value. And the D. They are required to do a dance series pass. It can be directly connected or it can be non-directly connected. They can play steps in between if they like.
It did well to hang on to that.
Yes, she did. And again, that was a 2-pass routine, so she ended with a D, so she's going to get a D for the double pack plus 1/10 for bonus for doing a D in the last pass. That was another item that they changed in their rules.
Well, a chance for Towson here as they wait on that last score to pull into first place so far. Right now it's Ball State with the best opening rotation. They were over on bars. Megan Teeter's 9.85, the top score.
Yeah, they had very nice bars.
Another look at the two passes. Should have a pair of exhibition gymnasts here as well for Towson. And again for Towson, this is their season opener. Program that was just 2 points shy of being ranked in the top 36 of the preseason coaches poll.
Very clean first pass. Double salto front leg to her second salto. Again, they want you to show off to the crowd. And sometimes for freshmen coming in, they're used to age group, and you don't show off an age group. You just do your routine.
Right. It seems mostly two-pass
routines,
floor
yes.
routines.
And again, that's the same thing. Get on, do what you need, and get off. Because the third pass, if you're doing a third pass, it could be something that it's your, energy level is down, especially in the beginning of the season.
I was just gonna get to that because the Tigers obviously well regarded coming into this year. Jay Ramirez, their head coach, coming into his 4th season and coming off a second-place finish last year at Eagle Championship. So this is a quality team. Is that something that Towson might, as the year goes on, work in the third pass?
Yes, possibly. Or like I said, a lot of times they just do 2 passes because it's clean and easy, and it's good choreographing, because when I judge age group, sometimes they put everything in it, and then you get more execution errors. So the less you have, the less you can take off for it.
If you can execute a lower start value perfectly.
Right. In other words, even if you start value, both of those were a 10-0 start value.
Right.
Okay, so you have less deductions that I can take in execution. And that's sometimes why they do it.
As we go look at the scores so far, as the last couple are in for Towson. And it's Ball State. Again, Megan Teeter, the big tally on bars, a 9.85. Ball State able to drop a fall as well, and they are in first place so far. And Towson and Rutgers level floor and vaults. The Scarlet Knights got their top score from Emily Lease, matching her opener with a 9.875. Decent shape so far for the Scarlet Knights, but even though none of these teams are ranked this week, these are 3 programs that could very well be later on this season.
Exactly. I mean, they've got the skills, and they. Okay.
Well, we will step aside. We'll come back. Second rotation coming up. Scarlet Knights will be on bars. That's next. It's part of this January quad meet between the Scarlet Knights, Cardinals, the Titans, and Tigers. Start of the second rotation at Jersey Mike's Arena in Piscataway. Rutgers hosting a January gymnastics quad meet, and great to have some support from the fans in the stands and from the athletic department too. On the left, the University Athletic Director Pat Hobbs, and on the right, the university president, Jonathan Holloway. Crystal, we were talking actually today about all the support behind this program across the banks, and it's great to see these two in the stands.
Yes, it is, and because back in my day, I was lucky if the AD would come, and this is great. Pat has really changed the program, and he supports every single sport, whether it's a men's sport or a women's sport, and it's great to see the president now seeing how well the teams are doing in the Big Ten. And to do well in the Big Ten, you needed the supplies, as I say. You needed a facility, you needed the money, you needed the scholarships, and that has happened under these two people, and which is great.
Jonathan Holloway, university president, a former college student athlete in his own right, and Pat Hobbs helping to construct the Athletic Performance Center just across the way here on the Livingston campus of Rutgers, in which the Scarlet Knights, the gymnastics team, have a brand new training facility that you've been in before, and it's quite nice.
It's quite nice, as well as the basketball and the wrestling, which we've all, in the years before, struggled. We all three groups struggled.
Facilities have been built, and just one reason why this Rutgers team is on the rise, and we'll get to see them now on bars, coming off a 48-725 as a unit on vaults. You took a look at the Rutgers lineup for bars. The top name here, Avery Balzer, who had a 9.825 in the opener out in Las Vegas and has been one of the top bars workers for the Scarlet Knights since she showed up 2 years ago, now a junior.
Yes, and again, these are all now Umi's athletes, so they're her recruits, and they're building into her program. Very nice release move.
This is Caitlin Bertola, just named a captain of the team.
Very nice. Nice toe shoot to hand. Nice pack. Handstands were very good. Nice up to a handstand, maybe a half a tenth. Giant full into a dismount, which is up, well, not very nice. A little bit of stick on, she could have, but that's kind of the gymnast hop around, and I did stick. But very nice routine, very clean.
Again, the emphasis being placed on holding the landing on beam and bars, and so we'll take a look at Caitlin Bertola's score as the senior kicks things off for the Scarlet Knights.
Very nice handstands, very clean form, and very fluent on her bars. That could be a half a tenth, depending on how well they want to do.
Next up will be Gianna Ortiz. We were talking about gymnast earlier, Aaliyah Aird getting healthy. Gianna Ortiz, another one. Missed most of the season last year after tearing her ACL, and Umi Celine Beasley, and talking to her before this meet, raved to us about the way Ortiz attacked her nearly year-long recovery. Was starting to break into lineups before getting hurt last year in her first season at Rutgers, and well, has done that this year undoubtedly. She's on the bars and beam rotations. It's
very good, and you can see she's not even wearing a brace, which means that she really did attack and do her rehab that she needed to do. Nice clean handstand. Half into a pike Jaeger. That's an E skill, very difficult to do. Overshoot to it, which is a D. Very nice routine so far. A little short on the handstand. Giant full again into a double back. Nice stuck landing. Very nice routine.
Oh, like glue on the soles of her feet there. A solid run through from Gianna Ortiz as we await her score. Before her, Caitlin Bertola, a 9.65. Rutgers off to a solid start here.
Yes, they are. And again, the judges on bars look for a good cast handstand so that they get to the handstands, and that can be up to 3/10. Very nice dismount. And then the combination.
Aaliyah Aird will be up next as Umi Celine Beasley chats with her sophomore. Well, meanwhile, Ball State on beam, Towson is on vault, and Oshkosh on floor. It looks like a 9-7-2-5.
Very nice score.
For Gianna Ortiz.
Nice, very nice high Jaeger. Clear hip to hand. She's going to go overshoot to a handstand, which is a C to a D combination, which is very nice. And now into a dismount. Again, nice handstands. Very nice stuck dismount, which is an E, and that's what the judges want to see, and that's like an exclamation point when you stick your landing.
Everybody can tell the stuck landing, but the lines on the handstands looked sharp and straight up too.
Right, yes it did, yes it did. And the judges are sitting on the side where they can see them. And they have the angles that they know they need to see. And that needs to go to handstand, which it did. And now here's a dismount, which rises above the bar, which is what they want to see, and then lands it. She gets the crown.
That's the crown that every Scarlet Knight gets after a stick, and that was well deserved for sure.
Yes, it was.
And it'll be a 9-8 for Aaliyah Aird, which is the top score so far for the Scarlet Knights on bars.
Very nice.
Next up, the home debut of the freshman, Naila Adams.
A little short on that handstand. Giant full into a reverse hecht, again, which is a D to D. And she didn't overshoot, little stumble there, but she caught herself short on that handstand, but there will be a deduction. And a full one back out. She has a little bit of errors in that, so it's not going to be, you know, your 9-8. But they're overall very nice routine, nice big release move, and nice E dismount. Very nice. This is where she kind of struggled a little bit, but she caught herself. That's kind of a rhythm error on bars. Very nice full one back out, above the bar.
As you mentioned, a couple errors there from Adams, but a freshman making her college debut. You could see her fight it and stick through the entire
and that's
routine.
That's what you want to see in your athlete, okay? And again, she was a very good level 10 gymnast, so she knows how to, you know, under pressure, how to pull it out.
Yep, competed at the Nastia Lukin Cup last year. In 2021, third place at bars at the Women's Developmental Program National Championship. So talented freshman and an outstanding freshman class.
Yes, yes, and that's just like, as I said, this is now Umi's program. When you come in the first several years, you're just using from whoever was recruited before.
Gymnast number 5, Hannah Joyner, the first and only gymnast in program history with a 9-9 or higher on all 4 rotations.
Handstand, a little short, very nice. Half turn into her Jaeger, which is very nice. Overshoot to the handstand, which is a D. Into a dismount. Very nice.
A whole bunch of sticks so far and dismounts for bars.
Yeah, that's very good. And again, she's got some depth in bars as well. Very clean dismount.
So we wait the score for Joyner, who, like Aaliyah Aird, is going all around today, as per usual. Did get the score. You may have seen it, actually, during the replay. Naila Adams, a 9.65 in her debut. Now, one of the judges gave her a 9.75, so 0.2 difference, but comes out to a 9.65.
Yes.
Now the anchor, Avery Balzer. Saw what she opened with out in Vegas, where Rutgers finished with its top team score in a season debut since 2014. Now, Balzer helps the Scarlet Knights get there as their top scorer on bars. Let's see if she can repeat that today.
Very nice handstand. No deduction, I would not give. Again, nice Jaeger. Combination, nice pack salto, which is a D. Clean half turn on the bars. Very nice. Nice lines in her performance.
It just needs a stick here.
Yes. And again, she's going to throw a double lay.
And she got it.
Nice, nice routine. Very beautiful.
Avery Balzer has been knocking on the door of a 9-9 in her favorite events. This will be interesting as we wait for the judges' scores.
Yes, it will. That was a very nice routine. All of her lines were beautiful, and that's what you want to see from a judge wants to see.
Again, we always talk about the lines on the handstands. They looked crisp.
They did. And her dismount was huge. Finished it above, the second layout was above the bar and then just floated into her landing.
And it's a career high tying 9.875. Got a 9.9 from one judge and a 9.85 from the other.
That's great.
You talk about gymnasts improving year over year. That's what Balzer's done. A career high in meet number 2 is not so easy to do.
No, it's not. But she has experience now.
Now before Balzer, it was Hannah Joyner, a 9.85. Balzer scored the best so far in the meet of the two teams, Rutgers and Ball State, that have competed on bars. And Rutgers now done on bars. We'll have an exhibition gymnast coming. But the Scarlet Knights just collected a 48.9 as a team on bars.
That's outstanding, yes.
We get a chance to look around at some of the other teams competing. This is Wisconsin Oshkosh, D3 school, competing on floor.
And they're a very strong D3 school. They always are either winning or close to winning their division. And that goes to show you that there's a lot of talented athletes out there that maybe they don't get a Division I scholarship, but they will go someplace else and be very successful. We missed the exhibition routine. Now she stepped on the line, so that should be an out of bounds because she went over, which is 1/10.
So we'll wait on the score. I believe that is the 5th gymnast in the Oshkosh lineup. I'll wait on her score. Top one so far from Oshkosh here is Emily Buffington and Delaney Sinkus, 9.75s each.
And Rutgers does have one more exhibition.
Valentina Lorente Garcia just competed off your screen, and Maya Jones is the last one to go. There she is. And something we will talk a lot about this year, but especially important here early in the year as lineups still get figured out. We just saw Lorente Garcia and Jones in the vault lineup, now as exhibition gymnasts on bars. This is their opportunity to either compete in front of a crowd or make their way into the bars lineup later on this season.
And that's more or less what, as a coach, you're looking for. You want to see how they're going to handle themselves, and again, work their way into the lineup. A little short on that overshoot to handstand. Very nice dismount. Could have been a little bit further away from the bar, but very clean.
All in all, a quality run for the sophomore Jones, who competed mostly on bars last year, competed in 3 meets. And as you can tell, being in 2 lineups today, making more of an impact as a sophomore.
Yes, and again, she's, getting them experience.
So Rutgers on bars, a 48-9. The Scarlet Knights right now 3/10 behind Towson, who's leading the meet at this point. They had a 48-975 on vaults. No premier scorers, but had 3 different gymnasts get a 9-8 or better to help pace them. Oshkosh still competing on floor, and a bit more to go on beam for Ball State. Had a nice way to end that routine. Good. Oshkosh opened the season last Sunday. They were at a triangular meet against Western Michigan, a 190.4 that is. So trying to crack 191 today as a unit. And over to beam with Ball State. The Cardinals with the top score so far on beam. Grace Sumner had a 9-8 a few moments ago.
Again, front aerial. Now that was a break. That was to be a series. That was a connective value of a front tuck. That was her second attempt at trying to do her series, which means she's going to be missing a series, which is 2/10 from the start value. So whatever, let's say she does come up with a 10, there will be 2/10 off, so it'll be a 9-8. So it depends on what. Plus she had a fall, which is going to affect it.
A half point, yeah.
Yeah. The trouble is a front aerial into something is very difficult to do, and because it's a blind landing to see it.
Ball State, their second meet of the season, and again, you'll see it across the country as gymnasts try to figure out some tougher routines, especially on bars and beam. Trying to figure out the rotations, get the timing right, as you saw there too on that first pass.
Right, and it's only their second
pass.
Right, it's still only the second meet, so endurance and getting used to the routines, and so that by the time they get to the 5th or 6th or 7th, then they're, they've got their endurance and they know the routines.
That was an Oshkosh exhibition gymnast who will shake off that fall. Waiting on the last score for Ball State was Taylor Waldo competing, their anchor. As it stands right now, Rutgers at 97.625, halfway done. It's Towson in first place, 97.95. And again, waiting for a score from Ball State on beam that they will likely end up dropping. Rutgers from here will move on to beam, which is historically, under Umi Salim Beasley, been one of Rutgers' best lineups.
Yes, yes it is. And Tasia is their beam coach, and she's very good with them. So, and expecting a child.
Oh, yeah, congratulations to her in a couple of weeks.
Right. Nice mount, front tuck, which is an E. The basic full turn, which is required in all routines, and that can be your nemesis. Flight series, which is the back handspring back layout. She gets only 1/10 for the D on that. There's no connective value in the college rules.
This is Megan Teeter, who actually earlier in the meet had the best bar score for Ball State. And an exhibition gymnast there, so we'll see if we can pick out her score, but that was a solid run through, it seems.
It certainly was, yes.
Did get that final score in too from the routine we saw from Ball State. Their anchor, Taylor Waldo, again, a score they're going to drop, a 9.025. So Ball State, as we hit the halfway point, is in third place of the meet, a 48.5 on this rotation on beam. Again, if you're just joining us, Rutgers, Ball State, Towson, and Wisconsin Oshkosh. The first three of those teams receiving votes in the preseason coaches poll as the season is just getting started. This is just week 2.
Right, and they won't even have an RQS as we know it until almost week 7. So you're going to see, if you go on the road to nationals, they're just going to put the highest score and what their average is. So it'll change drastically each week.
Yeah, so what you're looking for right here is, sure, if you get a 9.9 and that's going to stay in your RQS, your event or your rotation RQS, or if you're a group and you have a 49 or a 195 or 6 or something for a team score, that'll still count in March, but I think coaches are more worried about not counting the falls and things like that.
Right, exactly, and more secured landings.
The last thing to do here in rotation 2 is one more exhibition gymnast for Ball State. And it'll be Suki Pfister. Again, Rutgers from here will move on to beam and then floor. Last year, those were the best 2 events for the Scarlet Knights.
They're having another conference. Now, the judges do not have to have the same start value. So one judge could have a 10.0 and one could have a 9.9, and that is okay. All right, because you might have given something and the other judge did not. So it's as long as the score is in range, then that's what you need to do. So in this case, they are deciding whether or not they gave the skill or not, and if it's in range. So.
And again, if this is your first gymnastics meet, you won't get the scores officially reported for the exhibition gymnasts, but it is, just looking at the cards, a 9.625 for that last exhibition gymnast, Megan Teeter.
And the other thing that it's the second year is concentration pauses. They have to move. If they go 1001 and don't move, there's going to be a deduction for that. And they want the gymnasts to continue to move and not stay and count things out. Very nice back layout. And they want to see aggressive movement on beam, like you were doing it on the floor. That was a side aerial connected to a jump, which the judge could give or could not, depending on our balance. And her dismount, very nice routine, except for that little balance.
And you can see the reaction from Pfister. Was able to hang on to the beam. And again, that's a difference of half a point. Makes or breaks a score.
Yes.
So Ball State wrapped up on beam again at the turn. Towson a 97.95, the top team score so far. And in that second rotation, Towson had the top score too, 48.975 on vault. No 9.9s, but a bunch of quality scores, including 3 9.8 or better. Rutgers, meanwhile, a 48.9 on bars, led by Avery Balzer's career-high tying 9.875. And so, as we get ready for the third rotation, it's Towson in first, Rutgers 3/10 back, Ball State in third, and Oshkosh in fourth here on Big Ten Plus. The scores through 2 rotations here in Rutgers' January quad meet. Scarlet Knights, Cardinals, Titans, and Tigers. It's Towson with a top team score so far, but with the Tigers and Rutgers and Ball State, you've got 3 teams that receive votes in the preseason coaches poll, and you've got a great turnout in the crowd at Jersey Mike's Arena.
Yes, we do.
Awesome to see the support building behind this Rutgers program.
Yes, it is. And, you know, when you have 4 teams, you definitely get a more support because you have 4 teams. But again, as we spoke a little earlier, today is the Starstruck Gymnastic Invitational, which is in Atlantic City, and they have 5 gyms running. So if you're a New Jersey gymnast, most of them are in that meet. So a lot of the club programs can't be here today because they're already competing. So that's, you know, and that's a huge meet for our state with the developmental program.
Even in spite of that, good to see all the folks in the stands. And as you saw some of those crowd shots, all sorts of shirts and jerseys there. That's a good look to the woman on your right, Belle Huang, who just graduated from Rutgers, one of their top gymnasts ever.
Right, she is. And she's also still a judge. She passed her judging test, so she's a level 10 judge. So she's still judging, but it's nice to see her come support the, I bet you she's glad she's not doing bars.
Here with some of her friends to watch Rutgers now on rotation number 3. That's beam. And the Scarlet Knights have some of their best gymnasts here.
Yes, they do.
And so take a look at the order for the Knights. You see 3 sophomores to start it off, and then on the back end, Gianna Ortiz, Hannah Joyner, and Stephanie Zanella, veterans who have proven to be leaders in training.
Yes. And again, this is going to, you know, you've got to build the beam back up because, again, you know, Belle was outstanding.
Belle Huang, one of the 3 gymnasts who qualified last year for Rutgers to go to regionals. This Anna Pagliaro kicking it off.
That was her leap combination, which is required, plus it gave her a bonus connection value. Getting ready for her series. That's a little bit of a hesitation.
You alluded to it. You could see her pausing at it.
Right, and that's what you don't want to do. And she was a little cautious with that back handspring layout. She didn't really attack it. No dismount. So again, that's going to hurt. She missed the D, and plus she has the fall, which is a 1/2 and it'll affect her start value as well. Nice dismount, but she knows.
Again, this is exactly what these kinds of meets are for, to figure out those elements of your routine. It is the second week that Anna Pagliaro is in the beam lineup, and so she'll get a chance to work on it. In fact, I should mention this, Rutgers has a meet 2 days from now.
Yes, you know, and again, it's going to be a big meet as well, but.
Quad with Georgia, Ohio State, and Fisk.
Okay, that. But again, it's break, so it's a good time to do that. So there's Tasia giving last minute what to do, calming them down.
And conversation with Braden Batavio, who's next up here. And I should congratulate Anastasia Candia, the Rutgers assistant, promoted to associate head coach during the offseason, and now in her 5th year at Rutgers.
Yes, does a very nice job. And I recruited her for Rutgers the year before I retired. So
Wow.
I didn't coach her, but I did recruit her to come.
So Batavio up here. Elsewhere, Ball State is on floor, Towson on bars, and Oshkosh on vault. Now still awaiting the judges' scores. And it looks like a quarter-point difference, so we'll have a conference here, which has become commonplace, it seems.
Yes, yeah, and again, they don't have to have the same start value. And if you notice, there's 3 judges. One is the meet referee, and she's kind of takes care of everything. So she's standing there going over it. And if there is an event that is not going well, she will try to also judge along so that she can come over if there is a conference and say, this is what it is. So.
Yeah, one judge had a 9.25, the other a 9.0. There was different start values, so that contributed to it.
Right.
And so the judge with the 9.0 just upgraded to a 9.3. Do that quick math, and it's a 9.275.
And then she also had a fall, so that would have been a 9.7 level routine, which is very good. But again, you can win or lose a meet by a fall.
And so it shows you Pagliaro right there, right on the verge of it. And
Yes.
we get number 2, Brayden Batavio.
And it's hard because now she has to concentrate and come back, knowing that the next 5 routines need to count because they want to throw away that first event. Very nice series. Very nice leap combination. Very nice side air. It's a D. If they just have a back handspring layout which does not get connective value, then they must throw an additional D in order to not hit the compositional deduction. Very nice. Just a little hop on the dismount. But again, she pulled it back.
You see the jubilation for Brayden Batavio. Number 1, the routine in and of itself, solid.
Right. And a very nice dismount. Just a little hop at the end.
Well, beyond that routine being good, Batavio was in the lineup for the opener against out in Las Vegas and had a fall, had an 8.7 on beam. And so the week-to-week desire for gymnasts to try to improve their scores in a solo sport where it's just you and everybody watching all came out there.
Right. And, you know, I've always told my athletes, you know, it's over, okay? You know, you can't do anything about what happened, so you're just going to go back in the gym and figure it out, you know, so.
Yeah, so gratification there for Batavio, who puts together a great routine, and we'll wait on the score as Aaliyah Aird gets ready in the 3rd spot. Brayden Batavio, a 9.75.
Very nice.
A full point added from last week.
And again, you know, the first meet of the season is always the tough one. This is a unique mount. It's a D. Very hard to do. A little bit of bobble there. She prepares for her series. Very nice, very clean. Very confident on beam. And a dismount, a little step, which will have an execution error. Could have had a little bit higher salto action on it.
You said she looked confident on beam. You could see her command the entire length of the beam.
Exactly. Just a little bit of a step, and that salto could have been a little bit higher on the dismount. But still, very nice routine.
So Aaliyah Aird going all around today. And we'll wait on her score on beam.
It's nice to see her back in the lineup because she has good experience and poise.
Aird, we talked about an injury last year that knocked out most of her freshman season. Competed all around last week at Super 16. So this is week 2 for her in all 4 events as Gianna Ortiz gets ready here. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the meet, Towson is on bars, and want to give credit to Grace Valancourt at 9.925. Towson right now in first place in the meet, and that 9.925, the first 9.9 or better this afternoon. Now Rutgers will try to add to that with these last 3 gymnasts who are all capable.
Yes.
Again, you see Ortiz wearing the brace, a torn ACL last year, less than 1 year removed from it, but back and healthy.
She's a beautiful gymnast on beam. Very nice. Triple series, very nice. She gets extra bonus for that. And you don't see many gymnasts do that skill because it is risky. Very nice. Leap combination.
Wow.
Very nice routine. Just a little hop in the day, but very confident, in control of the beam.
Ortiz a 9.625 last time out, and she looks like she'll be another one who builds off her opening score.
Exactly.
Well, the highlight definitely of that routine was the combination, the triple that you mentioned.
Right, yes, that was a very, you don't see many gymnasts do that. So that has connected value, so she did not have to add another D into her routine.
Hannah Joyner up next, the program record holder on beam with that 9.95. She's hit that twice. Meanwhile, before Ortiz, it was Aaliyah Aird. Her beam score in, and that's actually the top beam score today, a 9.85. And Gianna Ortiz's should be in that same vicinity. And it is a 9.85, so back-to-back for Rutgers.
Very nice. That's going to help their score.
And we can see Rutgers in second place in the meet halfway through. Again, those scores have not been updated with the scores thus far for the third rotation. But Rutgers going in the traditional order here, ending with its best 2 events.
Yes.
Joyner, a joy to watch in this event in particular. The first and only Nationals qualifier Rutgers has had on beam.
Yes. Very nice series. She commands beam. Very confident. Little bit of bobble, but very hard combination of her leap pass.
A new dismount this year for Hannah Joyner on beam, and we'll see that in a bit.
All right, that is a round off to a double full, and as I said before, they raised that to a D, and college coaches wanted to see different dismounts. Okay, so they said now that they have to have a C dismount on beam. Before they could do a B with a side aerial into a B dismount, but they changed that rule.
And so that dismount one that Belle Huang actually used last year.
Yes.
Omi Celine Beasley said that Joyner is still commanding all the power and control, all the control it takes. It's a powerful dismount, she said.
Yes, yes, it is. And you get a combination, a B to D, they get a 1/10 for doing that dismount connective value plus the D. So it's huge.
So we await the score for Joyner, and it's a 9.75.
She had that little bobble.
That's probably where that comes from. And now the anchor, Stephanie Zanella, who's on beam and floor, so these last 2 rotations here. Zanella, another one who was named a captain for the first time during the offseason. And now an upperclassman as a junior. Had a 9.9 on beam a season ago. We'll see what she can do here.
Very nice step on mount, which is an A.
You can see why she scored so highly.
Right. Nice jump combination for a ring. She's preparing for a series coming up. Again, a triple series, very nice. Again, you get a connective value for that. And again, very difficult.
We saw Gianna Ortiz pull that out a little while ago.
And her dismount, side aerial into 1.5. She did take a step, but again, most likely last year she just did side aerial to a B dismount, but you can't do that or you're gonna lose up to the composition. So that's why she added the extra twist to make it a C. But again, that is a big step, at least a 10th, if not 2.
Well, Rutgers, we have to mention now that their 6 gymnasts are done, had a fall on the opener, on the leadoff, and the 5 gymnasts after that, a bobble or 2, but they were able to fight it, and they get 5 clean runs.
And that's what you want. You know, you want them to finish it out for you.
And it'll be a 9.725 for Stephanie Zanella. As you see, Emily Lease getting ready to go as an exhibition gymnast. We're still waiting for some of the scores to be officially registered, so get you the official team total in a moment. Right now, Towson is in first place. Had a big performance on bars, as I mentioned earlier, a 9.925 from Grace Valancourt. Isabella Minor-Vini, a 9.9 after her. Those are the top two scores in this meet so far. And so putting Towson in first place.
Front tuck to the back handspring. Very nice for her flight series. And a very nice leap combination, very clean. Front full for a dismount, very nice. Could be a little bit higher, but very clean and finished with a nice landing.
Emily Lease, the vault queen, trying to break into the beam lineup as well,
right.
And that's a good building block.
Yes, it is. And again, this is the depth that Umi has on the team, which is excellent. Nice stuck landing.
And we'll see Lease in a little while as Rutgers moves to the fourth rotation. They'll be on floor, and she'll be the fifth gymnast to go. And everybody else wrapped up here, so it's just Rutgers left. We'll have one more exhibition gymnast. That'll be Jackie Manifold to go. Manifold, a sophomore who can go all around. Lisa's score, by the way, unofficially 9.65. Now, you alluded earlier, Crystal, about Rutgers having more depth this year, and we see a lot of exhibition gymnasts today for the Knights.
And Umi's on my same wavelength. I always had large teams because it provides competition, plus you have the depth that you need in case you do have injuries. If you only have 12 or 15 girls and somebody gets hurt, then you're in a quandary. Very nice, a little bit of balance. Side area onto a beat jump, which is a D to an A. Her leap combination. Very nice routine. Just a little step on the landing. Very nice.
Manifold was in 10 beam lineups last year. A 9.75 career high, and she is one of those gymnasts who Rutgers can put in a beam lineup and rely on.
Yes, yes.
Count down. So Rutgers wraps up the third rotation. Again, we're waiting for the scores for beam and floor to be finalized. The last few are not in yet. So waiting to update the rotation 3 scores. Rutgers right now hasn't seen its last 3 gymnasts get their scores entered. So we'll take a break, we'll come back, and we'll take a look at the official scores through 3 rotations. Moving to the 4th, Scarlet Knights will be on floor as Rutgers, Towson, and Ball State join Wisconsin Oshkosh, opening up the season.
Fans, your Rutgers gymnastics team scored a 9.8 or higher on the beam here at Jersey Mike's Arena. It's t-shirt time. Make some noise for a t-shirt.
Four programs that are on the rise and getting better every day. Rutgers ranked in the preseason poll and coming off a program record team score last year. Ball State, 3 of the best 4 team scores last year. Wisconsin Oshkosh, one of the premier Division III programs. And Towson, a team that's been to 2 straight NCAA regionals, competing here on the 2nd week of the season. And you see the scores after 3 rotations. Towson in first place, a 147-1. But we've talked a lot about Rutgers today, Crystal. 146.55 for the Scarlet Knights. A chance at a 196 team score as they go to another strong event for them, floor.
Yes, it does. And I think she's put together 3 good events so far, and I think she can do the same thing. And that's what you want to do. You want to go 24 for 24. And at this point, they've only had 1 fall on beam, and that didn't have to count, and that's what you want to do. So, again, she's got the depth, as we talked about, and they're her athletes.
Now, Rutgers has added to its its event score over the first 3 rotations.
Yes, and you know she has gone out, has gotten very good recruiting classes, which is outstanding.
And on that note, take a look at the Rutgers floor lineup. It'll start off with Anna Pagliaro, who was the leadoff on beam a rotation ago. She was the one who had the fall, and so we talk about how she'll have to test herself. It comes up on the same day. Right,
but sometimes as you coach, you just tell her, leave it behind. There's nothing you can do about it. This is a new event. Start over.
Pagliaro competed floor at Super 16 last weekend had a 9.775.
Nice double pike, in control, nice step back. Front lay, front full, again, very clean. The bonus combination. Her leap, bonus combinations, again. Getting ready for her level last pass. Rudy, which is a D, which she will get 1/10 for having a D in the last pass besides the D. Very nice, very clean.
So much about gymnastics is about your internal resilience and mental toughness, and I think Anna Pagliaro just displayed that with the way she was able to rebound from beam to put together a great floor routine.
Exactly, and this is a beautiful double tuck, double pike. Nice, nice and high. And clean second pass with just one step out of it. And ending with a nice D.
So a great way for Rutgers to kick off its last rotation. And this is on an event where we talked about it, Rutgers has been good over the last few years, but in the opener, the Scarlet Knights' best event was floor. Aaliyah Aird led them with a 9-9 on floor. Now Rutgers scored a 49-1-5 out in Vegas last week on this event. And Anna Pagliaro, what a way to start, a 9.825.
Excellent. That's a nice starting point for them.
That's third best so far in the meet on floor. And now Emily Wood is up here. She's been a floor specialist in her now 3 seasons at Rutgers.
Very nice. Rudy into a back layout, which is a bonus combination, but very clean. Her dance passage, which is a requirement.
She has a 9.9 score on floor in her career. And you can see her command.
That's a very hard element. It's an E. She ended with it, which is great. And again, very nice routine.
Now Rutgers is 2 for 2 to start on floor as Emily Wood supplies a great routine.
Yes. And again, a 2-pass routine, but very clean. Very nice. That was a little bit of a step, but very clean. And again, our last pass is very, and again, it's an E, so it's very difficult to perform. Nice routine.
And so we await the judges' scores as Aaliyah Aird gets ready to go. And it will be a 9.8 for Emily Wood. So Rutgers opening with a pair of 9.8 range scores.
Well, they're having a conference because he has a 9.9 start value and she has a 10, as I can see. But again, as I said, you don't necessarily need to agree on the start value. So
so hold that 9-8 score for a moment. We saw Aird's 9-9 that came last week. As the judges walk back to their tables, we'll see if either of them change their score.
right. But again, you don't have to agree on your start value.
And they will change the score. Yeah, the lower judge boosts it, so it's a 9-8-5.
Very nice.
For Emily
very
Wood.
Nice.
And that's tied for the best score today on floor.
That definitely conference benefited Rutgers.
Again, Rutgers aiming for high 195s or 196s. And these first two routines have helped put them in that high 195 range.
Yes, it has. Which will be great for the home opener. Nice, she stepped out of bounds, so that's going to be a deduction plus a balance.
This is the first time Aaliyah Arid is competing floor on her home floor.
Yes, okay. A little bit of overzealous on the first pass. Front lay, front full, very nice. Little bit of a bobble at the end. Very nice double back at the end. A little bit of foot balance problem, but very nice, very hard routine. And again, she will get a 1/10 bonus for doing a double back at the last because they felt that a gymnast who does that is risking more than someone who just does a simple pass. And this was where that she's going to be hit the hardest because she did step out of bounds and she had a balance error.
Now that was the first pass for Arid, but was able to pull it back with the last two.
Right, very nice, yes. Just a few little step problems. But again, it's the beginning of the season, it's new.
And so we await the score for Arid, who again had that 9-9 last week. Great debut on this event. And it is Hannah Joyner up next. Look around the rest of the competition, and Ball State, of course, done on vault. So their final team score is in. It's a 195-45 for the Cardinals. Got a 49-0 on vault. That's a great score for Ball State, too. It's more than a point added to their debut. That could be a team score that lingers in their RQS for a while.
Yes, yes.
And not in a bad way.
No.
I didn't catch the score for Arid, waiting for that to load, so we'll give that to you in a moment.
Very nice tumbling pass. Full front lay, very clean. Connection value bonus as well. Elite pass, plus it's a bonus combination for her. Very clean. Four and a half into a front layout, which is again a bonus connective value for bonus. Very nice, very clean.
Now we've become accustomed to some sky-scraping passes from
Yes.
Hannah Joyner in her career.
Yes.
And a great way to kick off her home schedule.
Right, exactly.
This first one, the one I'm talking about in particular.
Yeah, very high, and very controlled. Very nice second pass. 4.5 into a front play, which is very nice as well. She fulfills all the requirements.
All right, so it's a 9.825 for Hannah Joyner on floor. Aaliyah Aird's score is in, by the way, a 9.6. Had that step out of bounds.
Right, so, and plus she had at least 2/10 steps, plus 1/10 off it stepping out of bounds. So that's a good 3/10 that she was hit with.
Rutgers is still in the range with 2 more gymnasts to go. Emily Lease here, still targeting a high 195 or a 196 perhaps even.
Very nice, full and back out, which is an E. Elite pass.
Emily Lease is on a new level on floor this year, a career high 9.9 last week.
Well, her first pass is excellent, and that not many gymnasts do that level skill. And she did it excellently. Again, front tuck through double back, very hard to do. Again, a 2-pass routine, but she has everything she needs, and it's very well executed.
As you noted, both of the passes very difficult.
Yes, yes. And there was a part of time that you didn't see the front through to double back, and I had a gymnast pack in my day who had it in a routine, and that was early on. And it kind of disappeared, but now it's back because you get bonus for it, so it's very good. Very nice.
Now, Emily Lease has become known for her Yurchenko 1.5s on vault, but a 9.875 on floor, her second straight high-quality floor score to open the year. That's also the best score today on floor.
Excellent. Again, she has very difficult tumbling.
Stephanie Zanella is the last gymnast to go here for Rutgers with, again, a high 195 in target for them. Oh, Zanella, the captain, getting set to roll. And Zanella last week a 9.7.
Very good. As you can see, they're marking the mats, which is a requirement for the judges so they can see if somebody goes out of bounds. Nice open double tuck, very pretty. Little bit of a bobble on that. She did a whip into a double. Leap combination, very nice. Good execution on that. Front lay, front full, but a little bit of execution. Didn't complete the salto.
So I'll wait and see the score for Zanella on the anchor for Rutgers.
She will have some deductions on her last pass.
Right now, 9.6 is the lowest on this rotation for the Knights.
That was very nice. A little bit of a step there. This is where her amplitude on the saltos. She didn't continue to drive her heels, so it was a little low.
And they'll be counting Zanella's score. It's a 9.625. And so if I'm doing my unofficial math correctly, Rutgers will end with a 195.55 today, which, coming off their best road score ever to open a season of 194.7, Rutgers adding 0.8 from meet 1 to meet 2.
That's excellent, and you know.
Now one more exhibition gymnast to go here for Rutgers. This is Maya Jones.
Nice double tuck. In a pike position, I mean. Front lay to a Rudy, very nice. Little bit of bobble, chest up on the salto. One and a half front lay, very nice. Very nice routine.
And Maya Jones, the last gymnast to compete today in this home opener quad meet for Rutgers. A nice note to do it too.
Yes, yes, and very strong. And she was exhibition, but she's trying to show the coaches that she deserves to be in the lineup. And that's why you put in exhibitions, because her tumbling is very strong. Just a little step on there.
That concludes today's meet. We now await the announcement of our final.
That was a very beautiful connection and tumbling pass.
Well, we talked about the expectations for Rutgers this year. The goals of being in the top 36 and bringing the team back to regionals for the first time since 2014. Last week for Rutgers, it was their highest road opening score ever. This week, it's their highest home opener team score ever, a 195.55.
That's outstanding, and you can only improve on that, because yes, she didn't kind of fall, but there is a little things that she can clean up with, sticking landings on vaulting, a little bit cleaner on the tumbling on floor, but otherwise it was very strong events today.
And Rutgers has 3 winners as well. Aaliyah Arid and Gianna Ortiz, each a 9.85 on beam. On floor, Emily Lease, we saw her 9.875. And all around, Hannah Joyner, a 39.175. Rutgers, I think, got exactly what it wanted out of this home debut.
Exactly, exactly. And this will be good going into their next meet, which is on Monday.
Yeah, Scarlet Knights will hop on a plane tonight and head down to Georgia to take on the Bulldogs, plus Ohio State and Fisk. Towson wins the meet, a 195.85, with the Scarlet Knights pick up their first 2 victories of the season. They earn a 195.55, their first upper 195 team score of the year. Ball State third place, a 195.45, and Wisconsin Oshkosh, one of the premier D3 programs, a 192.425. That'll do it here from Piscataway. Yes. Great way to start the season, Crystal.
Yes, it is. Looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting season, I think.
And we'll be back for all 5 home meets for Rutgers this season. Next home meet is next weekend for the Scarlet Knights. It'll be on Saturday against Illinois. The awards ceremony is coming up. We'll carry that live here on Big Ten Plus, but that'll do it for us in the booth. So for the NCAA rules interpreter, Crystal Chalet-Norton, I'm Dom Savino saying so long and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
See the Scarlet Knights in action at Jersey Mike's Arena on Thursday, January 19th at 8:30 versus Michigan. Tickets are available at scarletknights.com. The 18th ranked Rutgers wrestling team is back at Jersey Mike's Arena for the first time this season. This Friday night, January 20th at 7 p.m. versus Michigan State for their alumni and 50th anniversary of Title IX match. Tickets are available at scarletknights.com. At this time, we would like to Towson, Polina Belanovsky and Camille Vitov. From University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh, Brianna McGivney. In second place, from Rutgers, Emily Weiss. And in first place on the vault, from Ball State, Suki Vister. For the results on the uneven parallel bars, in third place, from Rutgers, Avery Balzer. In second place, from Towson, Isabella Minervini. And in first place, from Towson, Grace Valencourt. The individual results on the balance beam. In third place, from Towson, Grace Valencourt. We have a two-way tie for first. Both to Rutgers. Gianna Ortiz and Aaliyah Ayer of Rutgers. Please follow the results of the balance beam. For the results of the floor exercise, a three-way tie for second. From Towson, Camilla Calafati. From Ball State, Suki Vister. And from Rutgers, Emily Wood. And in first place on the floor exercise, from Rutgers, Emily Weiss. The results will be preliminary all-around results. In third place, from Rutgers, Aaliyah Ayer. A two-way tie for first. From Ball State, Victoria Henry. And from Rutgers, Anna Joyner. Now for the overall team scores. In fourth place, with a score of 192.425, the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh. In third place, with a score of 195.450, Ball State. In second place, with an overall team score of 195.550, Rutgers. And in first place, with a score of 195.850, Towson. And today's recipient of the Aaron Lynch Award for the most inspiring performance in the meet by a Rutgers gymnast is awarded to Nyla Adams. Fans, at this time, we ask you to please rise for the Rutgers University alma mater.